The night Daniel Cross realized fate had teeth was the night flames painted the highway orange and destiny wrapped chains around a bride. Daniel was known to the world as a cold, untouchable CEO, founder of Cross Dynamics, a man who built an empire after burying his wife and raising his son alone, but in that moment he was just a father driving home after a late board meeting, replaying in his mind whether he'd promised his 8-year-old, Liam, pancakes or waffles for breakfast. Rain had just stopped, steam rising from the asphalt, when traffic screeched ahead and a thunderous explosion cracked the air like the sky breaking open. A car had slammed into the guardrail, flipped once, and landed sideways, instantly erupting into fire. People froze. Phones came out. No one moved. Daniel did. He didn't think about headlines, lawsuits, or the sun waiting at home. He slammed the brakes, ran toward the inferno, heat blistering his skin as he heard screaming from inside. Through shattered glass and fire, he saw her, a woman in a white wedding dress, smoke curling around lace already blackening, eyes wide with terror, wrists chained to the seat frame like some twisted ritual. For a split second his mind rejected the image. Brides weren't supposed to be here, chained, burning, but then instinct roared louder than fear. He wrapped his jacket around his arm, smashed the remaining window, and tried the door. Jammed. The flames surged. She screamed his eyes, begging him not to leave. Daniel shouted over the fire, asking her name, grounding her in the moment. "Emma," she cried, voice cracking. He saw the chain now, industrial grade, bolted beneath the seat, deliberate. This wasn't an accident. This was a message. With brute force born from years of carrying grief, Daniel wedged the door open, yanked at the chain until his palms split, then spotted a loose metal rod. He smashed, pried, struck again and again as the fire climbed her veil, until the bolt snapped with a scream of metal. He pulled her free just as the car exploded, throwing them both onto the wet pavement. Sirens wailed in the distance. Emma coughed, sobbed, clutched him like he was the last solid thing in the world, and in that moment Daniel felt something he hadn't allowed himself in years, purpose beyond survival. At the hospital, Daniel learned the truth piece by piece. Emma was supposed to be married that night to a powerful heir whose family business rivaled his own. She tried to back out after discovering illegal dealings and threats, and the wedding car sent to fetch her was a trap. Chains were insurance. Fire was punishment. The family had already begun spinning the story as a tragic accident. Daniel's name surfaced quickly. Someone had seen him pull her out, and suddenly his life collided with hers in a storm of media, danger, and secrets. He tried to step back, offered lawyers, money, protection, anything that didn't involve crossing a line he'd sworn never to cross again, but when Emma was nearly taken from her hospital room and his son's school received a warning note, Daniel understood this wasn't about charity anymore. It was war. He moved Emma into his secure estate under the guise of witness protection, a lie thin as glass but strong enough to buy time. Liam, curious and kind, noticed Emma's scars and asked no questions, only offering his favorite blanket, and something in Emma broke open. She hadn't just survived the fire, she'd escaped a life where her choices were chains. As days turned into nights filled with whispered fears and legal chess, Daniel uncovered the full scope of the conspiracy: shell companies, bribed officials, and a plan to use Emma's marriage to launder millions. The same people who chained her would not hesitate to burn anyone standing in their way. Old wounds clawed at Daniel. His wife had died because he trusted the wrong partner years ago, and guilt threatened to drown him, but Emma's quiet strength, her refusal to be a victim, and Liam's unwavering belief that heroes don't quit, pulled him forward. Together they staged a counterstrike, evidence leaked, alliances formed, and when the villains moved to silence Emma permanently, Daniel turned the trap back on them, broadcasting their crimes in real time during a shareholder gala meant to celebrate the tragic bride. The fallout was seismic: arrests, indictments, fortunes collapsing overnight, and when the dust settled, Emma stood free for the first time. No chains, no lies, just scars that proved she'd lived. Daniel didn't get a fairy tale ending wrapped in fireworks. What he got was better: earned trust, a family chosen through fire, and the knowledge that even a man forged in loss could still save someone without losing himself. Months later, as Daniel flipped pancakes for Liam and Emma laughed at the batter on his cheek, the world still buzzed with the story of the burning car, but the real shock wasn't the rescue, it was what followed: courage turning into justice, strangers becoming family, and a reminder that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop scrolling, step forward, and act. If this story moved you, if you believe that ordinary moments can hide extraordinary choices, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because the next story might remind you that heroes don't always wear capes, sometimes they're just single dads who refuse to look away.